Continuing our focus on World Water Day, among the achievements in water supply and sanitation in Zambia is the creation of regional commercial utilities, that's for urban areas, to replace fragmented service provision by local governments. Joining us for discussion on access to water in Zambia, Calvin Chitumbo, CEO at the National Water Supply and Sanitation Council, joining us there from Lusaka. Thanks for joining us today. So just give us an idea of the percentage of Zambians right now that are estimated to have access to clean water and quality sanitation.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. In Zambia, when you're talking about the urban water supply and sanitation service coverage, we're talking about 80% now. In terms of sanitation, that is slightly low at about 55%. The rural areas is slightly lower than that. Water, we are talking about 60% of people that are staying in the rural areas, and sanitation is about 40%. But obviously, those are numbers that have resulted into, the focus that we have as a country to try and see how we can improve our service coverage, especially in view of trying to meet the Millennium Development Goals.
Yeah. So give us some idea of how you intend to do that. And I suppose specifically in light of the fact that you've got, say, 4 out of the 11 water utilities in the country right now saying that they can't continue to provide clean water at sustainable levels if there isn't a water tariff introduced. So what are your plans as the regulator to ensure that you improve on water access to clean water even further?
Yeah, one of the policy of government is eventually to be able to recover the cost of operations from user charges, and you're talking about the tariff. But obviously, you have to go through a process. You can't just go overnight and push the tariff to a level that would have a negative impact on the service levels. Now, we have been moving towards covering O&M costs, and I can mention here that most of the commercial utilities, at least when you're talking about operational and maintenance costs, that has been covered. You're talking about 50% of the commercial utilities at the moment. Now, there are some utilities who we are now encouraging to go beyond our operational and maintenance costs. Now, apart from looking at the tariff, I think we are talking about efficiency gains. At the moment, we think we can do a lot in trying to improve efficiencies for the utilities, because obviously when you improve efficiencies, you reduce the cost of producing water, and that would enhance the current tariff. So you're talking about improving the infrastructure, and government is investing a lot of money to try and improve the infrastructure so that we're able to provide a service that is, provided with efficiency.
Is the infrastructure investments, Calvin, sorry, just infrastructure investments that you say coming from government, just elaborate on that for us. Are they specifically in key cities like Lusaka, or across the board covering the entire country?
Yeah, at the moment, we're talking about Lusaka and the Copper Belt provinces where the populations are huge. You're talking about in excess of 350 million US dollars for Lusaka alone, using MCC as well, which is the Millennium Challenge account, help from the American government, but also there is a counterpart funding coming from government. Then into the Copper Belt, we're talking about over 60 million US dollars in each of the towns in the Copper Belt. So that's quite some investment that is coming into the sector. However, we still have to look at the challenge that we have between now and 2030. We've got a Vision 2030 where we are saying everyone should be able to be covered. And you're talking about something like $4 billion US dollars that is needed for that kind of investment.